So dear friends, we can come back to your breathing and enjoy twist out the breath. And breathing in, you can feel in your breathing in, breathing out. You feeling that you are breathing out. Enjoy the feeling in the present moment. Enjoy in breath. Enjoy out breath. So good morning, dear respected teacher, dear brother, sister, and dear friends. Today is September 2nd, year 2018. We are in the monastery of the Day of Mindfulness, Brookleaf Monastery. Welcome for the Day of Mindfulness. And by the way, happy Labor Day. So Labor weekend. I feel very happy that you don't choose to go for the party and you choose to come here. So because after just offer flower to all of us, that you have a good choice. Feel very inspired and happy to see that so many of us to come for the Day of Mindfulness and enjoy the walking very peacefully this morning. And sometimes we have our dedicate our own life to work and to sacrifice ourselves, to do a lot of things, and then we have a couple of days rest, but we don't know how to rest. It's nice to have a weekend off. I know that there are about 20 of us came since Friday to practice together with us. On the weekend of Labor weekend, we know that we don't have much time, so we can have some time to rest, to establish ourselves, to relax our body, and to take care of ourselves. So when we come to the center, practice center, we practice together. And Buddha, our root teacher, original teacher, he taught us that the word is practice. It means spiritual practice means know how to take care of ourselves. In Sanskrit, we call bhavana. It means we cultivating our mind. And we cultivate our mind is we in our life we don't have a joy and happiness, we don't have a peace, we practice in such a way and we cultivate our mind and we produce joy and happiness. The things that we don't have in our life, and you practice, you produce that. Not about material, but about spiritual, about your energy. You don't have peace, you practice, you find a way to sit, to cultivate your mind and your time, your space, and you generate peace in your life. And that is bhavana, that is your practice. Buddha, he shared with his disciples that there is one thing that, and I think this one our teacher taught us a lot, is there is one thing that if we cultivate well, it could bring peace and happiness in our life. What is that one thing? That is our mind. But on the other way, there is one thing that if we left, we don't know how to. If we don't know how to take care well, we don't cultivate well, and then could bring our life suffering. And that's also is one thing, is our mind. So I think when we come to the practice, we come to the center of practice centers, we see that we try to find ourselves, to cultivate our mind, come back to ourselves, to take care of ourselves. And the mind that I want to share today is the mind of love and understanding. People said that Buddhism also look like a Christianity or the other religions, also religions. People approach the Buddhism, they just see Buddhism like a religion, like the other religions. But actually, when we look deeply, Buddhism is not only religion. Buddhism is the path of practice. And I think that Buddha also taught us is this, the path of practice is the path of love and understanding. So I think the love and understanding is actually two, but are one. When we understand ourselves, understand others, we love ourselves and love others. And how do we understand and how can we love ourselves? So that is a practice. And love and understanding also the energy. When we approach to the practice, is everything is energy. The energy that when we cultivate well, and that becomes very powerful. And sometimes we call love also the power of love, the power of understanding, because they have capacity to heal ourselves. We imagine that is the mother when she gives birth to a child. She embraces her own little child and cries. And I think that's love. That is kind of energy. It's the moment that gives birth and she wants to embrace it, hug right away that energy, and transmit right away to a little child. And love is energy that when you practice and cultivate strong enough, become very powerful. So I think when I reflect to my life, I feel that a lot of conditions that make me feel very happy, and Just to be fun, I want to share with you that my little happiness is I know how to speak English. Do you believe it? Just little thing. When I come back to last 10 years, I struggled a lot about I don't understand English. And when 2 years I stay in Plum or a meeting, when I go out, I need to wear headphones. I always have a headphone and earphones in my backpack, and whenever I listen to people, I need to, need some translation. It's kind of communication. I have problem with myself. I don't understand at all, and that brings me suffering. Language, culture is they are my part of my life that changed my life a lot too. And the first year when I came to America, that is in Deer Park Monastery in California, and 2008. And I see that this land, this center, I think I can stay long. And my goal, first simple goal, actually is not the best and the powerful goal for monastic. The goal of monastic is transform and feel peace in ourselves and transform our habit energy, liberate ourselves. But I put myself, it's okay to get a simple goal first. I improve my English. I can share, I can talk to the teenagers. I can help a lot of people when I know English well. I can transform my suffering. I can feel more space in my heart to share. It's not many people that speak Vietnamese in California, right? Even we have a lot of Vietnamese. Everything transmitted, everything we communicate in English, here too in English. So I see that, wow, maybe a little thing like this, when I realize it, I take care well, I bring me some peace and happiness. So I found out a lot of things like, 7 ways that you can have confidence English and you can talk and you can improve yourself quickly. So the first thing is love your mistakes. You need to love your mistakes. And I found out that this is the one thing that I struggle in when I study English. I practice my English in Vietnam, in France, that I scare people see my mistakes. When I talk, people say that, oh, you correct me, I'm very bad, and I don't want to speak anymore. I said that I'm good. I'm good English. Why do you say that I'm saying incorrect? So I start to open myself 8 or 9 years in California. And I feel, wow, my English is kind of good. I'm proud of myself. So, but you know what? I'm still working on my English. That's why today, during the talk, maybe I talk too fast, not clear, not transmitted well, the message. Just apologize. This is my real things. Sometimes I contact by my eyes and my smile. I think this I learned is actually from process of training my English. I listen to TED Talks and everything, and podcasts, everything. And you know what? The way I learn is different. I learn the mistakes. The people, Asian people, they grown up, and I also Asian, so I feel that why they grow up in that way, they feel suffer and happy. And I see, maybe I can do better than you though. I learn it that way, so I feel so open. So it's love your mistakes. It's a little thing, but I see the process, the way that I learn and improve my English is pretty much the same with the way that I practice. Sometimes I practice, I feel I hide myself. I don't let people know that my mistakes. When I do something wrong, I don't dare to let people know about that. And then it look like resistant myself to grow. It's you growing up from your mistakes. And I think I ordained when I was 14 years old. I learned a lot from monasteries in 19 years with the different Sangha. And I don't think that I learned how to offer very wonderful Dharma talks eloquently, or I learn how to organize a retreat very well. But I think I love to learn to love myself better, I think. Slowly, I understand myself. Why in the past 10 years I couldn't accept myself, and right now I can accept myself. Why right now I can love my parents more. I can see I have a lot of beloved ones that when I stay in United States, in East Coast, I just came here last November. The people here is kind of, let's say, strange. Sometimes strange because people not express them out openly. And we need to have a patience to understand. You need to come back to yourself, to have eyes contact, to feel it before you open your mouth to talk something. So last week, we have a Vietnamese retreat, and I feel a little bit rejuvenating my aspiration because I can speak Vietnamese again. And I feel, wow, it's like, okay, just speak and sharing in Vietnamese once a year. I feel, wow, okay, this is good. But maybe speak all the time, maybe not good. Or, the theme of the retreat is patience is the seal of love. So I think that during the retreat, we also learn when we love someone, we need to have patience. The patience is a part of love. You know, you love your children, you need to have patience. You need to have a time to understand. You need to listen to yourself. And I think the time that I be in the Sangha, embraced by the Sangha, and sometimes community have some difficulty and suffering also. I see those kind of things is opportunity for me to learn. And I feel that my understanding and love grow when I am in that situation. When I practice, when I'm aware what is going on, and I really dedicate my time to understand, to be with it, not run away from it. And I feel that it's such love and compassion that I grow in that kind of energy. I don't feel fear at all. I think this is a lesson I can learn. So I will write on the board something that I want to share. I try to be short, but remind me to invite the bell so that we can breathe together. Let us really sit and feel our body alive to listen to one other bell. So the path of practice Buddha taught us is, first of all, is love. Second is understanding. So love is, there is 4 elements to practice. Loving kindness. We call từ. Second is compassion. B. Joy. Hỷ. Equanimity. Xả. So there is I want to share because this is according to my practice, my perspective. This is love is not only love between yourself and your parents or your relationship, but the love that I want to share here is like in general, all human beings, all beings, animals also they need love. And when you practice, we generate this love. It looks like the energy is powerful to heal yourself and heal the world. So first of all, love is in oneself. We cultivate from ourselves, and then we can offer that energy to others. So in terms of love ourselves, is we loving kindness. Từ. I share also there is something here, healing is kind of antidotes to to suffering. Suffering khổ. When you practice loving kindness, you can heal your suffering. Compassion, B, is you can heal pain or hurt. This in Vietnamese you call đau. And joy, when you practice well, also you can heal in your sorrow or sadness. And this one you can heal attachment. So when we practice with loving kindness, we see that is inside of our hearts. Loving kindness here is actually in the Sanskrit we call Maitri. And Maitri is like friendship. To practice to generate the energy that sometimes you feel, it's inside ourselves there is a block of suffering. There are blocks that you don't understand yourself. Every morning when I see that my body have some kind of irritation and stuff, I do some qigong and come back to my breathing and care for my body. And I feel so good. I feel some connection. And I feel that it's kind of the care, the kindness that I put there with my body feel healing right away. So loving kindness is like sometimes we don't like ourselves. We hate ourselves. So we see yourself look like part of yourself is your friend, but sometimes you don't feel that. You're not there with your body. There is something also is to related to loving kindness is like someone very poor, very hungry, and people do the charitable work, right? We offer something to that person really need it. They suffer. Suffering here is not only suffering by the mental, but suffering also from the body. That one offer something that people need, and actually bring happiness and joy to that people. The deep meaning of loving kindness is offer joy, offers happiness to someone that suffer, they need it. And I think the first one needed is yourself. Sometimes we're so busy, we don't know how to be with ourselves. And I'm really admire and happy that you chose to come here to practice and offer a little space in your heart to look, come back and look again. What I want to do for my life. Do I care? Do I offer kindness to myself enough, or I always running and then search for something is the habit of our mind. So about compassion is healing pain, hurts, compassion. There is a bodhisattva. We know that Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of great compassion, and she has a vow that always offer time to listen to someone really need to be listened. And when you are in pain, when someone are in pain and hurt, they really not easy to connect to the others. And they really feel left out, they feel alone, feel very lonely. And that kind of pain needs some kind of someone nearby to share, to listen. Maybe that one may be your daughter, your son, maybe your parents. They feel so lonely at home. So compassion is an energy that you can offer your presence. You'll be there for someone truly in pain. They suffer also. And capacity to listen in order to relieve their pain, to understand. So compassion also, sometimes we can see empathy. Or understand empathy is really see someone need your presence. And for me, when my practice is, I really feel that is sometimes we really want to help the world, but look, our sisters and brothers there, they so suffer. They are in pain. They really don't understand you. You don't understand them. We want to have the world out there, but look, how about your family? How about your friends? The people close to you, do you have capacity to help them yet? So I really, when I come back to my practice, I really reflect myself that, when I practice with my roommates, my brothers in the monks building, I really dedicate my time to really, do I understand myself and do I have compassion to my brothers? Do I have compassion to myself that sometimes I feel also lonely, sometimes I feel really in pain that someone really don't understand me. It's sometimes pain comes from misperception. We just think people have done such things that make you feel very painful, but it's not. We need to reflect. Because the Chi of the practice actually is when you practice, you first is listening. And you listening, just listening to understand. And when you listen, you need to reflect. Reflecting. And after reflecting, you put into practice. So this Chedachi is like the way we learn in monastery, we learn in the spiritual life, that everything, don't need to rush, don't need to react like, oh, that person, they are wrong, they make me feel suffer. they do something make me feel so painful. But you listening, you practice in order to understand. Find some time to reflect by sitting meditation. This morning when I do walking meditation, I reflect, wow, look at this group of people. They should have a happy life. When you chose to come here, you should have a beautiful and happy family in order to notice yourself, and you can see the past, and you can come here to practice. And when you practice, you can bring the peace and joy to offer back to your family. So during the time to enjoy walking like that, I feel the connection between one by one. To feel that is the river of life is not only flowing out there, but the river of life is heart by heart. The river of love, peace flowing. To reflect, to see life is not only your work, life is not only your jobs, money, fame. And sometimes you see that kind of thing is a power, bring you power, and then you can sacrifice yourself to have those kind of things, and your life will be okay, your life will be happy. But with the practice, love is another kind of power, the energy. That when you practice, you see, so whatever you listen in, you understand something, reflect, and take your time to see that I need to put this into the practice, to see what happens. So the compassion is the energy that you see. When you take some time to reflect, you can understand, and you, first of all, you just listen to that person, to listen in order to understand, to reflect the situation. And sometimes you also to listen to yourself to understand why I feel so confused. I feel so lonely this time. I feel so pain. Maybe the time you reflect and listen, you understand that maybe this energy transmitted by your ancestors, by many generations. So actually you have some time to understand, to listen, to reflect. It means you open your heart and you see the whole picture. So the power of love, compassion is also relieve the pain and hurts. First is yourself and then others. About joy is every day I really ask myself that, do I feel happy in the practice? And you know, sometimes one day you use a mirror to look on your face, to look at your face. I think this is meditating very helpful to check why today I don't feel fresh. I lost my smile. You know, every day that we work and the life look like the circle, the fan running, and you cannot stop. And someday you feel like sorrow and sadness is like overwhelmed. Stress overwhelms you. For love, this kind of love is like true love. Love always have an energy of joy. You know, someone that they have a lot of joy, they illuminate its energy. You feel it. And I think that is why love is the elements of the third element of love is there is joy, because I feel that is when you cultivate love, it doesn't mean that you always serious and you always cry in order to offer love. No, you can offer smile. Because a smile brings peace. Bring peace to people. And the moment that you offer smile to someone, actually you offer love. The joy within. Because people say that someone care for me, someone be there for me. And another meaning about joy here is also to heal sorrow and sadness. Is I feel that every time I practice, I see that is the brothers and sisters, sometimes they practice well and they're very happy. And I feel I also affected me, like influenced me, like I feel joyful too. And that is one vow of Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. Bodhisattva, a great action. He has a vow that Tùy hỷ hồi hướng is like Tùy hỷ is mean she feel joy when someone have a joy. When you feel joy, that joy is also my joy. When I feel joy, I offer this joy to you. So the joy is influent into all. So when I start to ordain in Rut Temple in Vietnam, I do this scare the venerable monk. Venerable monk and the most venerable monk is like really serious, it's a solemn moment. Walk in and do something, I feel really like, it's kind of afraid, kind of like I feel the gap between two generations. And then sometimes I cannot smile at all because I feel so scared. So I think it's the same when our parents and children in Vietnam, we do like that too, because the culture that you feel really clear, really, how can we say up and down? Hierarchy, yes. So very hierarchy, like, you know, you are you, I am me, you know, you are the auntie, I am the daughter, I am the. So every time that I see people when they respect and they share something and they share like, before they get to the point, 50 minutes, dear father, dear mother, dear auntie in mother's side, dear auntie in father's side, dear uncle, dear friend, dear daughter, dear son, thank you so much, dear respected thầy, dear elder brothers, dear cousin, they respect everything before they get to the point. It's like 10 minutes. And I feel, wow, come on, you just go to the point. Why do you just go around? And I think that in myself, the culture in Asia also is a thing like that. Go around. And then the main point, also when you say thank you need to say thank you little, one by one, before you share your own things. And I feel this is a part of my Vietnamese culture. Part of them I feel also is a good part, but also some of them I feel, you know, sometimes we really, we just not go to the point, we just go around. And then we lose ourselves, we lose time. But I see it's good to remind ourselves that, look, you have brothers. Look, she is your auntie. Look, he is your father. You really see your beloved right there. Look, she is your grandchildren. Do you do something, transmit to her, to him? So the culture is really see clearly who are you and who they are. We are family. So really remind ourselves that come back to enjoy. Why do you feel so sad? Do you transmit joy and happiness to those kind of your children? Do you have a time for them? You know, so that very good part for me. Sometimes when I stay long in the West, I feel I miss it because when we have a reunion in a family, I feel so happy to see. Wow, look, she's my niece. You know, it's so I feel like, wow, I have beautiful niece and I have beautiful nephew, and then my cousin there, they're alive. So when you feel connection and you offer a smile to them. And I think that kind of joy also love. That is connection, love. The fourth one is equanimity. The fourth one is equanimity is also sometimes we call the inclusiveness, embracing everything. In love, Buddha taught us that is when you love someone, you need to offer freedom to that person. So equanimity can heal attachment. When I become a monastic, I really contemplate myself. Mante, come on, you really on the path, you're not attached to anyone. You need to practice, you play in such a way that you really keep your 5 manners, really practice, come back to yourself, to see, to play, to do, to see all the brothers and sisters like your brothers and sisters. So I learned the way that balance my energy, and I can play brother and sister the same. Some of them, it's not easy to approach and to talk right away because it's different personality, different than me. Of course, because we're different. But some of them I feel so easy to approach. So I care and I practice, but I notice, but I really have intention that the more I practice, I should approach more people and treat equally to everyone. So in a discourse on love, I want to read something here. Discourse on love, that is carrying forth the 4 elements of love, that when we contemplate, we love everyone the same. The Buddha taught us in discourse on love is, he or she, when he or she practices, he or she contemplates like this: may everyone be happy and safe, everyone. And may all hearts be filled with joy. May all beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, invisible or visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born, may all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. When we contemplate like this, actually we generate the energy of peace, no war. And it's sometimes there is someone, relatives and siblings of the brothers and sisters, monastic brothers and sisters, have an accident or have a sickness or just pass away. We enjoy sitting meditation and we send this kind of energy, love to that one. To really pray for them, to feel we are there for them. But also we do the same in real life. How can we offer to the brother and sister really alive here? If we see some sister and brothers, they're crying, they are in pain and suffering. But if you see that you get involved in that situation, how do you think? We see that that person is make you feel suffer. Whatever they cry, no. The suffering and pain everywhere. Sometimes by their actions, by misperception, by some way to talk, by the way that you're thinking, the way you act. Maybe you left something behind. And then misperception, misunderstanding happened. And that creates some confusion and suffering. Or they lost something. When someone lost something, it means they need some help. You have, and they lost. So you should be there to help them. So according to practice of discourse of love, any situation you need to raise energy of non-discrimination, equanimity to help. And actually when you help and you send this kind of energy, the one have a healing first is you. When I send energy to my nephew, right now my nephew he's just 3 years old and a half, and he's in hospital now. He has something in his lungs. He coughed for the whole month. So my sister and my brother-in-law, they create the blog of the family messages in Facebook. Every day they send energy, they share, oh, how is going on, how is process. They always praying and then be there, even they stay different cities. And I feel that I send energy. Every part of my steps, my breath, sitting meditation, I send energy to them. And I feel really nourished, really heal myself. My practice so solid. I feel I healing first because the things happen, and I feel I dedicate myself in the practice and I get the benefit. I practice not for myself, but I practice for my siblings, my nephews, my niece. Hopefully, this Sangha, hopefully you don't feel too confused and bored when I share, because sometimes I'm not very good about arranging my thoughts and my idea, but I think, and also I still working on my English, right? Yeah? Do you understand my English so far? It's okay? Good. Someone said that? Yeah? It's been so, yeah, it's kind of, I really try to improve both my also English, but also my practice also. So those kind of things I share actually on the process I practice. So when you practice well, love become a power, understand also become a power. And this understand is actually, I already mentioned something, is insight. Right view. So insights come. Is that right? Like this? Yeah, okay. And then when you talk about insights, always have a mindfulness and concentration here before we go to the insight. Without understanding cannot be love someone or love yourself. When you love, you generate energy of understanding. And this understanding is also insight and right view. The energy of insight always comes from mindfulness and concentration. When you enjoy walking meditation this morning, you walk in mindfulness. Every step you walk in silence. Actually, you dedicate your time to connect to yourself, connect to the earth. And the energy of mindfulness is raised in your heart. You feel you focus. You're not confused anymore. You focus on your step. Concentration is concentration of something. Concentration of your breath and your step. When you walk in, you just enjoy your walking. And when you do sitting, you enjoy your sitting. You follow your breathing. So during the time that you meditate, you practice, the energy of mindfulness and concentration is give you the space to stop. Stop to look inside yourself. And that kind of moment to stop and look deeply, and you have a light of insight, the understanding. You understand why I have done such thing like this. Why I feel so happy now. because I don't work anymore. Today is Labor Day. Today is my day. Today is, I don't need to worry about working. I just enjoy my breathing. I feel so happy I'm alive. Wow, being alive, good. So that kind of moment that you have in your hearts, actually understanding the insight. And actually, there is a book. They wrote, I don't know the writer, but they wrote about 77 aha moments. So I think this insight, you can apply aha moment. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I feel happy because I can speak English. Yeah. You know, it's kind of the little thing like that. You can build up your life with the light of understanding and happiness, peace. This we need to offer to your children. They grown up slowly like this. They become someone have a power of understanding and love. You know, sometimes we, because sacrifice ourselves to the work, something else, you forget your children. You forget someone beside you, your friends. And someday they pass away, they die, they in the hospital, you regret. So practice mindfulness and concentration offer you the space to take care of yourself, to create the space to understand. And understand, again, bring the power to your life. To reconcile, right? To reconcile, this right view. It means that you see yourself, also others, and other is yourself. You don't see separate anymore. You feel that your children is your continuation, because your continuation is yourself. So when you take care of your children, is you take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself good, you take care of your children. So right view is the view that transcends you and me. We are one. We're not separate anymore. So that is very deep. And I think this can be another talk, but I just go a little bit. So let us say, love is one power, understand another power, and this is the path of practice that Buddha taught us. There is another power, actually, is cutting off. And cutting off here, sometimes we can call letting go. Cutting off what? Cutting off your craving, cutting off your anger, cutting off your ignorance, the misperception. So I think it's my life, 19 years as monastic, I really learned how to take care of myself. And I feel, I don't know why, 14 years I be with my parents, but 19 years I be with the Sangha. But I feel so much connection to my parents, because I feel I love them more than when I stay together with them. Does not mean that when I be a little child, I was very silly, or really not good son or child, but because in that time I didn't know how to practice. And when I approach the practice, I feel that every day I can cultivate the energy in such a way that I can love myself, I can see my habits, energy to transform. I think that is the goal that I did mention, that is a little goal when I came to Deer Park in California, is improve my English. Very concrete. But actually the deeper aspiration of monk or nun, deeper level of our goal is actually see our habits and transform our habit energy to have a peace, to have a liberation. And in order to liberate, it's like to cut off little things. My brother, I don't mention my brother's name, but my brother monastic brother, last 2 weeks he mentioned about, now I practice is, I don't use much internet and I can sleep earlier. I really committed. I really cut off the way that I use internet, less, very little. You know, a little thing like that, you determined to cut off, actually bring you to space to take care of yourself. And the way that we use internet, the way that you sleep, the way that you take care of your body, actually that's the habit energy. The habit energy to play video game, the habit energy to use too much internet, watch video game and watch and follow the news and stuff like that. The habit, that kind of habit energy bring you confusion, bring you tiring, but you don't know. You feel so tired. Why? This weekend I feel so tired, even I don't work. But because you have a weekend, you're supposed to rest. But some of you offer, you go to a vacation and go party, and after that feel so tired. Because you use your body, you're still working, but work in different ways. You're working by your brain, you're working by your excitement, you know, and then you lose energy. And when Sunday night, come back home, feel, I feel so exhausted. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. And then your friend said, how come you have a 2 weekend off? I don't have. You have weekend off. Why I feel so exhausted, you know? So look, when you practice, you need to see the habit energy, the craving that use internet. The cut off craving first, cut off anger, cut off ignorance, the misperception. And I think this, two of this I already shared before, the anger and ignorance. Sometimes we have been suffering for each other because we misunderstanding and perception to others. Craving, see your happy energy, why you attached with. You attach to your work, you attach to your things that you want to feed yourself in order to feel fulfill your heart, or you just, because you feel so lonely, you have nothing to do, because you're happy energy. Because you have a weekend, nothing to do, and then you just use internet, or you can go to party, or you want to, hang out with your friends and stuff like that. So the part of practice, cutting off, is really contemplate to see the energy of understanding, the energy of love. When I love myself, when I understand myself, that is my life so tough, my life go through a lot of things, I don't have much time left. I am 60 years old. How can I use my time to practice, to cultivate energy of love, understanding, to cultivate energy of compassion to my generations, help myself, help my family, and help the world. So you think in that way, you practice, starting, go into the cutting off, letting go, to see the habit energy, the craving, the energy that easy to get angry. Why you easy to get angry? What brought you to be angry in that way? Why? So you have a time to sit still, to enjoy every step, to dedicate yourself to look, to be with your partner, to be with the Sangha, to practice, and then one day you can realize that, I think okay, I think I don't need to do this, but I feel happy. I don't need to go to party. I feel fulfilled. I feel good. In the Plum monastery, we have a retreat for teens. For teenagers, we have a retreat, and usually every year we have 120 teens. And in that retreat, actually they do better than you, than adults. You know what? They don't use telephone, electronics. And you know what? Teenagers, the most thing they're craving for is video game, internet, iPhone, iTouch, iPad. And every year, people out there in Samsung company, Apple companies, Google, they just update their stuff. They go to the OK, they go to Pro, iPhone 9, iPhone 10, everything feels so good. So I want to get that one. And it's kind of fit your craving. Life is like want to fit your craving. Because you want to use, they produce. So the teenagers, when they come to the retreats, we ask them, when you do registration, give me your cell phone, give me your electronics, and then all the people in the office take away. If you want to practice, I want to keep this in the office, and then at the end, we give back to you. And they agree. They dare to agree because they're so brave to do that. Because they heard that it's so joy and so peaceful, so joyful, so helpful for them. Their friends, they came before. And actually, some of them came for first time. They feel so resistant, so irritating. I feel lonely. Where's my iPod? But because there is nothing to do, they feel lonely. They approach to the friends. They play. And they have a discussion, they play the game, real game. I think, let's say, the game Human Knots, help child to take out the knots. Or do hiking, to be with the nature, to do singing, girls and boys. And suddenly they feel good, they feel connection. They don't use Facebook for 5 days, they feel survive. They don't use iPhone for 6 days, they feel happy. Because of collective energy. And I feel that's one thing to see cutting off. Try to cut it off, bring you freedom. And the same like let go, bring you freedom. To see why you do that one. If you don't do that, it's okay. Try it out. Why you go to check Facebook every moment? If you don't do that, it's okay. Life's still there. Yeah. So, it's kind of, I really feel, I feel that it's so lucky to be a monastic, to be a monk, that offer me opportunity and offer the space to practice and to reflect my life, to love myself more. And I feel that the more I practice, the more I can approach to people around me. Right now, I get in touch with the people in East Coast. The people in East Coast different than in West Coast, in California, right? So these things that I want to share. 3 elements: love, understanding, and cutting off. That is 3 powers, actually. But also the part of practice. Sometimes we can call 3 virtues. When you practice in such a way, you produce this energy so strong. And this kind of virtues, the virtue that people can feel it. Someone that have, without any talking, they feel it. The virtue of love, by your eyes, by your touch, by your way of acting. They feel your love, they feel your way of understanding, they feel the power of cutting off. Like you can let go, you feel free. Sometimes cutting off can call freedom. The more you let go, the more you have freedom. So, thank you so much for your listening, and I think that is long enough.